Are you dealing with a child behavior of pulling pants down? I'm Nicholeen Peck, and I teach all over the world about parenting, good communication, how to build strong family bonds, child development, and education, all through the lens of the principle self-government. And in this video, we're talking about keeping those pants up. In this video, we're going to be talking about why children sometimes display this behavior of pulling their pants down and how to correct it in a calm way that hopefully gets them to take more responsibility for their actions. So let's talk about some of the reasons that a child might engage in this type of behavior. Everyone's situation is going to be unique. I don't know your child, and so, I can't say for sure why it's going on, but probably one of the most common reasons that a child might do that is because of impulse control problems, that they just are feeling that impulse of like, oh, I gotta, go to the bathroom. So they just like start ripping them down, or something like that. And they're just not thinking far enough ahead. They're focused on one detail. They could have kind of a sensory issue where, they don't want to have their pants on. It's uncomfortable with them. They don't like the seams. Sometimes touch sensory can be a thing that people will deal with. Sometimes people are actually just attention seeking. So they want other people to laugh. So they're actually doing it because they're positive attention seeking. They want people to giggle and to laugh at them, when in reality, the behavior they're doing is a negative behavior. So it's kind of like a negative attention seeking, but they're hoping to get positive out of it. At the same time, they'll sometimes do things for just the negative, just so that they're corrected and they can show control or dominance. That's another thing that sometimes children feel like, well, I have control over this, and this makes my mom mad, or this makes other people mad. They might just do it to get people mad. So they're just using it as an oppositional behavior. Now, those are just a few of the reasons that a child might do that. It could just also be because, they figured out how to get the pants down and they can't figure out how to get the pants up. That could be another thing that could occur. No matter the reason, though, we need to look at this situation the same every time. So this channel is the Teaching Self-Government channel. And on this channel, we talk about behaviors through the lens of the principle of self-government. So let's just do that with this behavior. So self-government is being able to determine the cause and effect of any given situation and possessing a knowledge of your own behaviors so that you can control them. So that means that you understand cause and effect, you understand how someone might feel or look at a specific behavior that you have, or how that behavior might even impact you. And so when you understand those things, then what you do is you make the decision to do a good behavior that will give you good effects or good results instead of negative effects. So when a person is self-governing themselves with a behavior like keeping their pants up, then what we want to teach them is a skill that will help them control that impulse to pull them down if that happens to be part of the problem, but will also help them observe appropriate boundaries. So there are 4 basic skills that are the foundation to all of the other skills and principles that we teach for self-government. And these children's books each teach one of the 4 basic skills. So this book teaches following instructions. This book teaches accepting no answers and criticism. We're going to be using that one. This one teaches accepting consequences. You might need that one too. And then this one teaches disagreeing appropriately. So let's talk about accepting no answers and criticism. There are 4 steps to that skill. All of these skills have steps associated with them. When you accept a no answer, that means that you are observing a boundary, or you are accepting a disappointment of some sort, or you are telling yourself you can't be in control of something at a certain time. Let's talk about the boundary one, because that's the one that really impacts when a person is pulling their pants down in public. So any boundary issue, any line that you shouldn't cross over is a no answer for you. So the steps to accepting a no answer are you look at the person or the situation. If it's a boundary line that you shouldn't cross over, that's a situation, okay? The situation might be, I feel like I want to pull my pants down because I'm too hot, or I'm on my way to the bathroom, or whatever reason that they're doing it. I feel like I want to pull my pants down. Then we say, that's an impulse, that's a no answer. So I'm technically giving myself a no answer because that's a boundary line. And then I have to say, okay, or I could disagree appropriately, but in this case, really saying okay is the appropriate thing. And then drop the subject. That means don't think about the pants anymore. So I would take my hands off of the pants. I would put them somewhere else. I would do something else, or I might go talk to somebody else. I might report to my parents that I had the impulse to take my pants down, but I didn't do it. I'm coming to talk to you instead. So then they can be praised for actually following those no answers and instructions from themselves. So in order to make it all the way to you, they have to accept the no answer from the boundary and then give themselves an instruction to go and report it to you. That would be accepting no answers followed by following instructions, which is a 5-step process. This skill here, accepting consequences, this is going to be helpful when you need to correct the problem. There are things that you can proactively do to try to help your child be motivated not to pull their pants down in public. So you could have a positive consequence established that they are working toward. Maybe you tell them for every day that you don't pull your pants down and we have to tell you to pull them back up, then you will get a mark on this chart, or you will get a snack out of the snack jar, or something like that, that there might be a positive that they earn. You could even say every time that you come self-report to me that you've thought about pulling your pants down but you didn't do it, then when you come and report to me, there will be a positive surprise, like maybe, again, something out of a snack jar, maybe a quarter or a penny or something like that that might matter to them. And so they get a positive for doing the positive thing. So then it's not just a negative interaction related to the pants. Definitely try to get to the root of the situation with the pants. If they have a sensory issue, if the pants are not comfortable, they've got scratchy seams or something like that, maybe give them sweatpants or something that's a little bit more comfortable for them, because truly, if they're having that type of discomfort, you might have a hard time nipping it, even if they're earning negative consequences, or you have a positive if the pants themselves are uncomfortable to the person. So what do you do if they do pull their pants down? Well, now you have to do a correction. So ideally what you do in a self-government home is you teach the skills ahead of time. So you would teach those 4 basic skills. You would practice them on a regular basis. Then you would also teach them the skills that you would be using when you correct the problem as well. So there's a certain structure that you follow. In fact, on my website, teachingselfgovernment.com, there's actually a thing called a choices map, which helps you remember when to use the different skills that you learn in the training, in the course. And so you could just show that map to them and say, okay, so we gave you a no answer about taking your pants down in public. One of the steps is to drop the subject. You didn't do that, so now we're at this place on the chart and we're going to do a correction. So when a person earns a correction, then they get the opportunity to go through a teaching moment with their parent, practice doing things the right way, and then earn a negative consequence and get the chance to accept that. When you are teaching them ahead of time what you are going to do to correct them, be sure to teach the entire skill. Describe to them what they did, describe why it wasn't a good idea, what they should have done, and then tell them what negative consequence they've earned, which I like to use an extra chore. In fact, there's a Teaching Self-Government app. It's a free app, and that app will help you to find chores that would be age appropriate for your children. And it even has a timer to let you know when the chores are supposed to be done. So super fancy and really free. So go find the Teaching Self-Government app there. So anyway, they would earn an extra chore, and then they get the opportunity to practice doing the same situation again the right way, controlling that impulse to pull those pants down. As you can tell, there are a lot of skills and principles that I'm discussing here. There's many I haven't even mentioned. Other skills that are related to parent skills, for like what do you do when they go completely out of control, or how to pre-teach, what to do to teach them problem solving, as well as some of the steps for the other skills that we mentioned. If you want to find out about the entire teaching self-government system and be able to utilize it in your family, then I would recommend going to teachingselfgovernment.com and just get the TSG parenting course, or maybe do one of the 3-day trainings. Those are the best way to learn the entire program, get all of your questions answered, and prepare your family to overcome those boundary issues.